Hello and a warm welcome to TBC News. Our top stories. One-stop business center for East Africa underway. Mtwara port revenue multiplies. Good evening, I am Faida Ngaga. You can also follow us live via our YouTube channel, TBC Online. Also, get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook and Twitter pages at TBC Online. Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa urges investors to continue to invest in strategic projects to support the government's efforts to grow the economy. It's a report by Henry Mabumo, read by Lulua Mohammed.
It is the Prime Minister's visit to inspect the construction of East Africa Commercial and Logistics Center, which is a strategic project to act as an international trade center. The center is expected to have more than 2,000 shops and cost more than 195 billion shillings. Speaking to various citizens, Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa insists the center will help to facilitate rapid economic development and urges residents to take full advantage of the facility.
This center will become a springboard to bring rapid economic and social development to the residents of Dar es Salaam, especially here in Ubungo area and other parts due to the business opportunity that will be available here. It will also be an attraction for businessmen who will come from abroad, especially from neighboring countries.
He then comments on the current state of the economy and the successes of the government in the investment sector.
During the year 2021-2023, the government has been able to attract and register a total of 537 investment projects with a value of more than 7,220 million US dollar, expected to provide approximately 929,000 jobs.
Previously, the Minister of State in the President's Office, Regional Administration and Local Governments, Angela Kairuki, clarified that the project costs more than $81.82 million and aims to provide 15,000 direct jobs, and more than 50,000 young people are expected to benefit.
Uwekezaji katika eneo hili la Ubungo una thamani ya takriban dola za Kimarekani.
Investment in this region is worth approximately 81,827,000 US dollars. Most people will have direct ownership of their shops, but some will also be able to own and rent them to other people who will do business. Katie Wang is the contractor in charge of the construction of the center, says the project is a symbol long-term cooperation between Tanzania and China, and she has congratulated the Tanzanian government and promises to complete the construction by June 2024.
Imedhamiria kujenga mradi huu wa kimkakati.
We are determined to build this strategic project that leads to East Africa for the trade of services and products by copying the Chinese model of the Yihu and Guangzhou market and bringing it here to Tanzania.
Ulisimama mradi huu kwa miaka 10.
This project stopped 14 years, but due to the importance of this project, the government had to return the process.
Imebidi serikali irudishe mchakato ule.
Statistics show that the trade between China and Tanzania has reached $5 billion US and is increasing every year due to the great cooperation between the two countries' business community.
Deputy Minister for Works and Transport Atupele Mwakibete says the revenue of Mtwara Port has increased from 5,645 million shillings in 2018-2019 to 27,469 million shillings for the period of July 2022 and March this year. Launching cargo ship services in Mtwara, he says the revenue has increased due to the large investment and improvements made in the port, including the construction of a new pier and the purchase of modern equipment. Here's a report by Martina Ngolumbi, read by Apasia Bringo.
For the first time since the start of operations of the Port Mtwara, a ship owned by CMA CGM Company, which has a length of 176.88 meters and a capacity of carrying 18,485 tons, carrying 246 containers, has anchored at the port, which stopped serving the shipment of containers in 2021-2022 due to various reasons. The Deputy Minister for Works and Transport, Atupele Mwakibete, arrives at the port to launch a cargo ship, and here the acting Port Director Mrisho Selemani clarifies more about the port.
Meli za makasha zilikuwa zimekata katika bandari ya Mtwara.
Cargo ships stopped arriving at the port of Mtwara, but the plans and the strategies of the port and the government have started this activity again. We have received a container ship, and 246 containers will be offloaded, and in those containers there is a ton shipment. As a port, it is an opportunity because this port is known to transport coal. If you add this cargo, opportunities and the government's funds will increase.
The arrival of the ship, which is from France, makes French Ambassador to Tanzania Habil Hajlui to congratulate the Tanzanian government for improving the infrastructure of the port, while the investors of the ship also had comments to make.
That we presented to your cabinet in February 2023 this project of transshipping our containers in Mtwara. Today, it is a great honor to see that this project has finally materialized.
I would like to assure you that CMA CGM is committed to work alongside Tanzanian authorities to continue investing in modern and sustainable infrastructure, improving connectivity with other countries and quality of service provided to Tanzania.
But also we work hard with other companies working in Mtwara, through the ports of Mtwara. Songea was mentioned earlier in one of the speeches, and we work also with these companies that are shipping in mining and also.
Speaking during the event, Deputy Minister for Works and Transport Atupele Mwakibete commends the Mtwara Port for its exemplary performance, while the Mtwara Regional Commissioner says he will continue to ensure security to attract more investors and businessmen.
In 2019, this port collected 5,645,702,992 Tanzania shillings. In the year 2019-2020, this port collected 11,715,827,451 Tanzania shillings. In 2021, this port collected 11,120,548,989 Tanzania shillings. Also, in the year 2021-2022, this port collected 23,8,914,268 Tanzania shillings, and since last year, July, it has collected 27,469,175,407 Tanzania shillings.
In strengthening the protection and the security situation in order to attract businessmen from inside and outside the country to use the port of Mtwara in a state of peace and stability.
This ship will stay at the port for 24 hours to unload the containers that will be sent to the islands of Zanzibar, Comoro, and Madagascar.
In other news, the Tanzania Police Force spokesperson, Senior Assistant Commissioner of Police, SACP David Misime, assures citizens that they will be safe and their property protected during the Eid al-Fitr celebrations. He urges the community to continue to cooperate with the police force in identifying and preventing crimes. Speaking to journalists on precautions and measures taken by the police as the public prepares for the festival season. He assures all Muslims and other religious believers the end of the holy month of Ramadan will be celebrated peacefully. Furthermore, the police force has also called on parents and guardians to make sure that they take precautionary measures to protect their children during the celebrations. Eid al-Fitr is expected to be celebrated on Saturday, the 22nd of April, as announced by the Mufti of Tanzania, Sheikh Abubakar Zubeir. The Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Dr. Grace Magembe, says the Jakaya Kikwete Cardiac Institute, JKCI, has signed an agreement for treatment exchange with Zambia Cardiac Hospital and the King Faisal Hospital of Rwanda, which aims to improve heart treatment services amongst the countries. Here's a report by Kuluthum Dunda, read by Lilua Mohammed.
The agreement will enable patients from Zambia and Rwanda to come and be treated in the country, and also JKCI to offer trainings to health professionals. The Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Dr. Grace Magembe, was speaking immediately after the signing ceremony, urging the health workers to continue to work professionally.
I believe this collaboration is going to be continuous, and probably today we are talking about cardiac conditions. Probably this is going to open up and probably take us to another milestone. I would really want us to see, because there's a lot that we can share. This is cardiac, there's renal, there's so many other areas that we can work together. So our colleagues from the Save a Child's Heart have opened our eyes. I'm sure we'll not just remain where we are.
The Jakaya Kikwete Cardiac Institute Executive Director, Dr. Peter Kisenge, asserts that the agreement will improve the heart treatments and also play part in stimulating the country's economy.
For benefits of the people of Zambia, Tanzania, and Africa at large, let us assure that we shall offer good service to our people. We are going also to start a special program for teaching doctors, technicians, and nurses here at Jakaya Kikwete. We have now affiliation with the University of Dar es Salaam, MOAS, so for sure all your technicians, doctors, they will come here and get good education.
On their part, the representatives of Zambia Heart Hospital and the King Faisal Hospital of Rwanda say the agreement will improve the overall heart treatment services across East Africa.
From the people of Zambia is to express gratitude that we've been received well again and again, and that we'll work and walk with you so that you can show us where the muddy puddles are so that we can avoid.
We tend to go far to look for solutions and support, whereas we can learn from each other and put to good use the experience that each of our institution might have that we don't have.
We see a vision in the next 5 to 10 years where JKCI is a lead player in the region, having also established and trained more programs here in Tanzania, but not only, but also getting itself more and more involved in the training of teams and medical missions, both in Zambia and in Rwanda.
The signing ceremony of the cooperation agreement was held at Jakaya Kikwete Cardiac Institute in Dar es Salaam.
The Universal Communications Service Access Fund, UCSAF, Chief Executive Officer Justina Mashiba says the fund has signed a contract to roll out communication services to 1,200 wards in Tanzania. She says the initiative will ensure that more than 300 villages will be covered by the communication services in Tanzania as a result.
As we are speaking now, we have signed a contract to roll out communication services to 1,200 wards in Tanzania, whereby more than 300 villages will be covered by communication services. And once all the projects are completed, more than 15 million population will be covered by communication services. So we have a long journey to go, but so far this is what we have done. Because way back when we started, the percentage of communication services in villages was 45%. But as we speak now, it's 97% of the population are covered by communication services.
Mashiba furthermore elaborates the importance of having reliable communication infrastructure for development and why it is crucial to ensure that no one is left behind.
We are connecting the population in villages who are more producers of maybe food and all the product that we want here in town. So using communication has really assist in, getting some marketing and everything that everyone needs through communication services. But on top of that, even in schools, nowadays, when there is a communication, there's internet, teachers can use their laptops or whatever, or computer to get, some teaching materials from the internet.
The Universal Communications Service Access Fund is a government agency established in 2009 with the main objective of facilitating access to communication services and bridging the digital divide between the rural and urban populations. Now let's have a look at other stories. Treasury Registrar Nehemiah Mchechu calls on institutions, public organizations and government agencies to enhance their performance in order to increase productivity in investments and national development. He was addressing a meeting involving Treasury Registrar Office, board chairpersons, heads of organizations and government institutions at the Julius Nyerere International Conference Center. Apasia Ringo has more details.
It's been 2 months since Nehemiah Mchechu was appointed as Treasury Registrar, and here he says enhancing management performance will bring more productivity, serve people better and increase investments.
Wale ambao hawatengenezi faida, tunahitaji basi wapunguze utegemezi.
We need those who do not make profit to reduce their dependence on the central government. And those who contribute, we want them to continue to do so. But they should increase efficiency. Let us have a close follow-up on the investment made by the government in any institution to see if it is interesting can be seen.
He further emphasizes on the importance of highlighting vividly the organization's achievements, especially in the annual report. Some of the attendees outlined common challenges they face.
Boards have the responsibility to make the performance, work resources and various procedures so that the performance can be of high quality.
The Treasury Registrar Office was established with the aim of managing the government's investment of public organizations and companies in which the government has shares.
The Minister of Tourism, Mohamed Mchengera, says his ministry is committed to end challenges faced by people living near national parks that are caused by wild animals. It's a report by Ismail Bugda, read by Dilua Mohammed.
The Minister of Tourism, Mohamed Mchengera, made the remarks during the signing ceremony of agreements that aim to end settlement conflicts caused by wild animals in Dar es Salaam.
In addressing human-wildlife conflicts, the government is working closely with various conservation and development partners in building capacity of our institutions and communities. I've been informed that a national strategy for the management of human-wildlife conflicts 2020-2024 has been developed and is currently being implemented. At the moment, the ministry has 154 ranger stations across the country to respond to human-wildlife conflicts.
We need to protect the animals to have something for the people, so that we have the tourism, we have the income, we have the jobs, taxes will be paid, and even beyond that, we have a contribution in the fight against climate change.
The Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Dr. Hassan Abbas, says the ministry will ensure the implementation of the project while the director of wildlife in the country, Dr. Maurus Msuha, asserts that this project will use modern technology and infrastructure to ensure that the conflicts are resolved.
Let me assure you that we are going to do a 3-feet monitoring and implementation of this agreement.
Conservation to us at the ministry is about people. We believe conservation is for the people. Conservation is contributing to our economy. And if it is contributing to our economy, means it is contributing to the development of our people.
The project, which involves the government of Tanzania and Germany, will be implemented in the southern areas of Tanzania.
The Embassy of the Kingdom of the Netherlands in Tanzania, in collaboration with the Doors of Hope Foundation and Trees for Birthdays initiative, have planted 56 fruit trees at Makumbusho Secondary School in Dar es Salaam. It is part of climate change mitigations and the celebrations of the 56th birthday of the ruler of the Netherlands, King Willem-Alexander. Here's a report by Evelyn Francis, read by Lilua Mohammed.
With a few days left to celebrate the birthday of the King Willem-Alexander, the Embassy of the Kingdom of the Netherlands in Tanzania celebrates the day by planting fruit trees with the aim of preserving of the environment and dealing with the climate change. Speaking to the students, the Deputy Ambassador of the Kingdom of the Netherlands to Tanzania, Job Ranhar, says that tree planting is one of the embassy's initiatives to mitigate climate change and preserve the environment.
Tanzania is a very rich country in that respect. You have over 4,000 species, and around 50% of Tanzania is still having trees. In the Netherlands, we have a very densely populated country. We have way to go. We only have 160 species and like just over 10% of our superficie with trees. So really this is something that we also see we have to team up. We have to take your example, plant trees, do it here, do it back home. So that for us, it's very important to also show our commitment and have this kind of concrete action.
Here, the Makumbusho Secondary School headmaster Jackson Mulinda points out how they will benefit from the planted trees.
How the government currently has been insisted the provision of the food at the school. And this mission goes together with the nutrition because the trees will provide the fruits. Therefore, these trees will be eaten or taken by students to make part of it as a source of vitamin.
The students also had something to say.
Not only trees, but fruit trees. It gives us it makes our environment to be conducive. Its appearance, it helps us to get vitamins when we eat fruit. It brings attractiveness to school and good appearance.
It helps to reduce global warming.
On the 30th April 2023, King Willem-Alexander will mark his first decade on the throne, and before ascending the throne, King Willem-Alexander held a number of posts and was involved in a range of activities reflecting his commitment to the Dutch society, including water management, infrastructure, ICT, sport, and defense.
And that item concludes local news. International news up next. Now let's have a look at international news with Apasia Ringo.
Thousands of people are fleeing Sudanese capital, Khartoum, as fighting continues between the army and paramilitary rapid support forces for a sixth day. Several attempts of ceasefire have failed to stop the violence. World Health Organization says nearly 300 people have been killed and at least 3,000 wounded. In separate occasions, the leaders of Sudan's rival military forces have refused to negotiate with each other as fighting continues for a sixth day. The comments by Army Chief General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and his chief rival Rapid Support Forces, Leader General Mohamed Dagalo, dimmed hopes of a lasting ceasefire. President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa has urged South Africa and Namibia to use their historical ties and proximity for the mutual benefit of their people. Ramaphosa was speaking at the opening session of Namibian President Hage Geingoob's state visit to South Africa. This is Geingoob's first visit to the country since becoming president in 2014. Ramaphosa says both countries need to tap on their green hydrogen sectors to address the energy crisis. At least 78 people have been killed and more than 70 injured in a crash at a school in the Yemeni capital, Sana'a, during a distribution of charity for Ramadan. Hundreds of people reportedly crowded into Mayan school to receive donations of money and gifts. The Interior Ministry in Yemen says 2 local businessmen who arranged the event have been arrested and an investigation is underway. A spokesman for the ministry blamed the crash on the random distribution of funds without coordination with local officials. According to witnesses, soldiers had fired into the air in an attempt at crowd control, apparently hitting an electric wire which exploded and caused panic among those waiting.
That was international news. Sports news up next. And here is sports news with Mario Cheto.
Tanzania boxing national team coach Samuel Kapungu says he is confident that thorough training given to the boxers national team will spur the boxers to win golden medals in the World Boxing Championship, which will be held in Tashkent, Uzbekistan next month. Coach Kapungu adds that the boxers have been given various boxing skills during training camp and hoping that they will outclass their opponents and win medals.
Almost 95% of boxers are ready, and remaining 5% is for tournament and fights. As we came back with bronze medals last time, this time we'll bring golden medals. We ask Almighty God to help us as we work for Tanzania.
Boxers from different countries will participate in the World Boxing Championship, which will be kicking off from 1st of May up to 14th of May in Uzbekistan. Former Simba Sports Club players who eliminated Zamalek in Champions League match in 2003 reveals that they have been giving technical advice to Simba current players on how they can beat Wydad Casablanca in Champions League quarter-final tie to be held at Benjamin Mkapa on Saturday. Former Simba Sports Club centre-back Victor Costa Nyumba and striker Yusuf Macho Muso say that players have been working on their recommendations, especially on how to play under pressure in their big game.
This match needs more concentration. Players should avoid mistakes which are unnecessary. They should focus for all 90 minutes because it is a tough match. They have to play understanding that Wydad is a big team in Africa, but they have to get named through them. Anything is possible. They will be playing in front of their fans. They have to play the same as they